is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Get real. Welcome to DBL. Hello, we made it. It's Friday, everybody. Friday. Hello, Friday. All right. Welcome to DBL. Today we are looking back, and this is going to make me feel real good because it's things that from our past that make us feel nostalgic. And by that we mean something that makes you feel sentimental or you long for the past. So a new study is saying most people feel nostalgic when they're watching a TV show or movie from their teen years. As for what they're watching from the 80s, nearly half of Americans feel nostalgic watching the show Cheers. For movies, people turn to Die Hard and Big to give them a sense of nostalgia. That's right. For the 90s kids, their favorites were the show Baywatch, movies like Edward Scissorhands, and Clueless.
Love Clueless.
I totally paused. As for the holiday movies that make us feel nostalgic, they are Home Alone, The Santa Claus, and Miracle on 34th Street.
Brilliant.
So I want to talk to you first about what does the word nostalgia mean to everyone? What does it mean to you?
in
Al?
class?
Yeah.
Stand up. You can't look at your notes. Yeah.
If I say nostalgia to you, what do you think? What does it mean to you?
A place that takes you back to a point in time in your life where you felt the most safe.
I think safety.
Probably.
Safety is mine as well.
I think
love
that's
that
a
you said
lot
that.
of.
I have some factoids for
Please,
you,
Sam.
so I'm going to be the star student
Well, people have
here.
been writing in saying more factoids or I'm not watching.
I'm the star student.
Thank you, Sammy.
I did my research for you, Tori.
Thank you, Sam.
In regard to nostalgia, 79% of Americans say if they're having a bad day, they'll watch something nostalgic to make them feel better.
That makes sense.
75% say they would subscribe specifically to a streaming service just for content that makes them feel nostalgic.
Whoa.
And over half of parents said they look forward to pointing things out on TV or in movies that they recognize but know their kids won't do it all the time.
Really?
Like I made my kids watch Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving and they lasted about 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
They're
But were
not
you
into it.
happy?
Oh, for 5 minutes I was.
That's
They're
it.
like, who's this? I said, that's Charlie Brown and Snoopy.
You know what it is with stuff from even just our era, the 80s and 90s, it just moves a lot slower. Like I tried to show my kids Star Wars, like, oh, we'll do, and it's just like a lot of older men talking on the deck of a battleship, walking. There's not as many fights as you remember.
There's a lot of walking.
There's a lot of walking.
You guys,
there's
the
just
Death
guys
Star
walking and standing.
It's quite large, and there's a lot of areas they have to take off for the Death Star, okay? A lot of walking. Steph, what is something that makes you think of safety and happiness
There's
during
a
this
few,
time? Okay,
but
give me
the
one.
first thing that came to my mind was every day after school I'd come home and watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, yes.
Yo.
It's a good
that
one.
for me was so awesome, and I also loved Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
I loved Sabrina.
I've never seen one
I really
episode.
wanted to be a witch. I full on thought I was a witch.
Did you?
I wore a little star necklace and made really bad potions out of mud and leaves.
I did potions too, nice.
Still got cats. Don't talk, but you know.
I like it.
You have a
That's
familiar?
why I like her.
You know what's kind of cool about that is my son comes home from school and he watches The Fresh Prince as well.
Wow.
Isn't that so interesting that the show just kind of
That
reboots
was so
itself?
cool. That's still cool to. I
It
mean,
really is.
So
And
cool.
literally the sound in I'm already there.
Yeah.
Just to know
Philadelphia,
in
born and raised.
on
Yep.
the playground. Okay.
Spending
most of my days. Oh my.
Neither of them knew the next line.
Yes, we
Kicking
did.
back,
Relaxing
at
on
school,
Why did I do
shooting
that?
some b-ball outside of school
when a couple of guys who
Sorry.
were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood.
I got in
One little fight,
My mom got scared. She moved in with your auntie and your uncle to Bel Air.
Then I do not know the rest.
That was good.
Because they were dice in the mirror. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Samantha, tell us about your safety spot.
2 safety spots I love. DuckTales. Woo.
Oh, yeah.
Loved
yeah.
me some
Brilliant,
DuckTales.
brilliant.
Such a good
And then,
point.
oh, it was such a good movie, or TV series. But my movie of choice, and I know that you're right there with me, Death Becomes Her.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'll watch it anytime it's on.
Anytime it's on,
Amazing.
I stop what I'm doing and I'm immediately a teenager, sick or pretending to be sick from school, on the couch, watching me some Death Becomes Her.
Do you know what I used to do? I put on that fake necklace that woman with the witch, and I pretend to poke my finger, you know?
She was
A lot of witchy stuff.
A lot of
was on the
witches.
wheels.
Supermodel. Who was that supermodel?
Isabella Rossellini.
Yes.
Isabella Rossellini.
Yes.
And it's such
storyline holds up.
The technology
Surprisingly,
holds up.
the graphics and animation and the CGI looked
good.
great for whatever
Fantastic.
time
The
of the 90s
neck all the
it
way
was.
around.
Remember where they go through the hole?
Falling down the stairs.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Al, I want to hear what makes you feel safe.
Without a doubt, I come from the period of VCRs, so there was like maybe if you got the longer version, you could have 3 movies on there if it was an 8 hour, so that you would just know 3 movies. So Friday was obviously one of them that was on there, but The Great Outdoors for me.
Great Outdoors.
That was on all the time, and we
So
would just
funny.
watch it. The sarcasm between John Candy and Dan Aykroyd was just, it was this low-level tension, and it's about class, and it's about what's real and what's fake and how much that applies today, how much people's outer lifestyle can really hide the shell that's going inside, and I just think it was really great. John Candy's my favorite performance by him, and that's, I understand Uncle Buck is in there.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
not saying
good.
that. I hope you know I understand the gravity of that statement.
What about you, Tori?
My favorite is, was it the butler in the conservatory with the rope? It's Clue.
Yes.
You gotta go with Clue. And if you guys didn't know, I watched this with my best friend until the VCR literally burned.
Wait, I didn't know this was a TV show.
No, it's a movie.
I only knew it as a board game.
Okay, so this movie.
Oh,
had no
it's a good
idea.
movie.
It's not only this stuff.
You could only rent it from the library.
True, but in the theaters when it first came out, if y'all didn't know, in different theaters they had different endings. So you would come out and say, "I can't believe it was Mrs. Peacock," and your friend would say, "What are you talking about? It was Miss Scarlet."
That's
because
brilliant.
they did it so they had 3 different endings in all different theaters.
That was ahead of
Isn't
its
that
time.
an
That was
awesome
good.
marketing
I didn't
tool?
even know that.
It's Professor Plum. No, it's not. So cool.
Fabulous.
All right. Clue. Looking ahead to the future, the study also asked people what they would be nostalgic for in 20 years. So more than half of people said smartphones, 43% said trending music on TikTok, and flare or boot-cut jeans, 34% said working from home, and 22% said crop tops. Okay, I'm not going to be nostalgic for that ever, but what do you think?
Wait, are you nostalgic for crop tops because, like, as you get older, those are harder to wear?
I can't wear crop tops, and it's very in. I just have a lower belly.
But there's a
issue.
period of time. Like, sometimes my son will be walking around without his shirt on. I'm like, oh, that's what a body looks like without 30 years of Funyuns. Yeah, good. Yeah, I get it. So I could see how you would like look back. I couldn't
worn
imagine.
that.
Yes.
Is there something you guys think we'll look back and be like, man, remember that?
I always think that, and a lot of people still have them, but I think it's because I wasn't allowed belly button piercing.
Oh, I had one.
I wanted one so bad, and I begged my mum. My dad said, not under my roof. And then I got older and was too afraid to do it, but pathetically.
The belly button ring. I went to Oxford, England at 15, and a man with a stick poked it through my, and it was
Did it get infected?
It sure did.
I would say
It sure did.
90%. No, you weren't alone. Even my friends that got it done, like at real piercing studios,
they all did.
They all got infected.
Oh, man,
so
it was
gross.
bad.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? I think those TikTok dances of the
I think people are going to miss driving. In 20 years? I mean, you can kind of see it's going away now.
that's a good one, Al.
How many people don't own a car right now? And they're like, I'd Uber everywhere. Put another 20 years on that, where like maybe
driving,
your parents never drove, so you never had that example.
Wow.
You're going to have kids whose parents didn't drive.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be the end of it.
That's interesting. I just thought about, though, to that point, because you would never think, what if the pendulum swings so hard on anti-social media that people, because you see more and more kids are getting quote-unquote dumb phones because they're sick and tired of the bullying on social media. What if it swings all the way where we look back at social media and it's not as prevalent?
It's a blip in our
that's
system.
interesting.
That would be
is
really
interesting.
weird.
And I hope maybe a good thing in some respects.
Well, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because
Very
there's a lot of
true.
positives that come out of it.
You're absolutely right. Good
Thank
talk,
you, Tori.
everybody.
Yep.
Good talk.
What are the positives from a double-edged sword?
The
They're
other
both
part
bad.
of the there's one part of the sword that
One's-
saves you and protects you.
Thank you, Tori.
Yes,
You're
but
welcome.
it kills the other person.
That's the point of a sword.
Yeah.
Coming up on
positive.
DBL.
One's a savior.
We're chatting with Food Network star Michael Simon. What was it like working with Selena Gomez in the kitchen? And yes, Hunter Biden gets indicted on 9 new federal tax evasion charges. Will this affect President Biden in the 2024 election? Stay tuned for that.
Hey guys, we're just talking about everything nostalgic, which was actually so brilliant, and people are all talking about a lot about the belly button pierce. Did you ever do it, Sam?
No.
I feel like, I was gonna say, I could imagine you being like, let's get a belly button, nose ring, something. I could just imagine she's a rock star.
Thank Thank you. I totally loved the idea of it, but like I said, a lot of my friends got it done, and oh my God, I just remember how red they were.
That was good.
So yeah, I never did it
I think,
specifically
what
for
happens
that.
when you get pregnant? Someone told me they come out, they grow out.
Oh yeah, your belly button
Sam, really, just
pops
like-
when you're
I think
pregnant.
does it
So
Wiry
like grow
and,
out?
I would think you would have to remove
I
it.
can't imagine. Yes.
Ooh, you
DuckTales
can get a
is a great
belly
call.
button stretch.
like a ring and it extends through pregnancy. I only know
see?
because I work with a lot of dancer girls.
Oh, I like
and it
Oh.
extends up because the belly obviously grows. But a lot of
Was it
people
like a
by the
massive
third-
ring, so it's just
Yes.
more room
It
to...
literally just looks like that big and it's curved, so
No
it can
thanks.
curve with the belly.
There's
But at
already
that point,
so much going on.
Yeah, I
It's
would.
like
So
the
much
last thing
going
you
on.
need.
It's a bit
Deal
worrying.
with. Just have to deal with your belly button.
I wouldn't.
You guys, I was in England and it turned red and really bad and swollen.
yeah.
And you're right, it was the curved in the belly and I couldn't get it out.
I started to see some
you're
weird,
fine.
like it starts to grow into the skin.
Inside of you.
It's,
There's still
you're,
a hole
you're
I
lucky
have.
you didn't do it.
I still have a hole.
Everyone, I was like, this is...
No, not the belly button hole. Also, I went and got my appendix taken out from my stomach, my belly button, and without telling me, they took my outie belly button into an innie. Without telling me, it got swollen. I woke up, there was no belly button because it was swollen. I thought they had removed the full belly button. And I woke up on anesthesia and I was like, it's gone. There ain't no belly button.
Oh yeah, Mark had nipple.
Fun Friday is over. Welcome back to DBL. The list of charges continues to grow for one Hunter Biden. Yesterday, he was indicted on 9 federal tax charges in California. These are in addition to federal firearms charges in Delaware. The special counsel says Hunter spent millions of dollars on an extravagant lifestyle rather than paying his tax bills. Now, some of his alleged spending includes more than $683,000 on, quote, various women, almost $400,000 on clothing and accessories, and $188,000 on adult entertainment. The $1.4 million he owed in taxes, I want to make clear, has since been paid back.
How many Wall Street guys could have those exact 3 bullet points?
Very good point, Al. Earlier this week, Hunter spoke out about the attacks against him on a podcast. Here's what he had to say to defend himself.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to kill me, knowing that it will be a pain greater than my father could be able to handle. And so therefore, destroying a presidency in that way.
Sam, what do you think about this? Do you think he's right?
Listen, I'm always one to hold someone accountable. I don't care if you're Hunter Biden or we just had Mike Sorrentino, the situation on, who paid his dues in prison for tax evasion.
Right.
I know they're 2 different cases, but this to me seems very politically motivated. Taxing to me, like the fact that working class Americans struggle to pay their taxes, and then you have all these millionaires and billionaires that find loopholes or ways or straight up evasion and not pay their taxes. It bothers me. So I do want to see Hunter Biden pay his dues, so to speak.
Right.
However, there's so many other people that I could point out on that list, to Al's point. It feels
timing
very
feels
forced.
If he paid it off, Sam, would you be happy?
He
did.
He did pay his
Oh,
tax.
see, he did.
Yeah.
I'm full of a question, as you can possibly imagine.
Yeah.
So how come Trump hasn't gone to prison for similar
So he's
situations?
actually in civil court for adding fraudulent amount of spaces in his buildings and stuff like that. It's taken a lot of time. But I have to agree here on the timing here. Could this be the thing that Biden says, I have to back out here of the convention in 2024 because I got to deal with my son who's going through this. He's up for 17 years in prison, and I got to take care of this. Is this essentially what they're doing, Al?
I don't know. I think if he was going to crumble, he would have done that by now. I think for me, just going after Hunter Biden is really it's one of the grossest things that I've ever seen. Like honestly, like if you think about Joe Biden's life, he lost his daughter and his wife in a car crash. He lost another son to cancer. Watched him disintegrate in front of him, and then His son then became addicted to drugs, and he watched him spiral. And so to go after somebody that's had so much grief foisted onto them, I wonder if the Republicans know how many of their constituents have gone through this exact same thing, because fentanyl and meth and opioids have hit a lot of the communities that support them. So by going after and lampooning somebody that's lost his son or daughter to drugs, you'd be surprised who you're talking to. It's a lot of the people that are swiping red for you guys. I just think at some point something so sad that you almost have to turn away, and to go after him is just, I can't believe. This is why I'm not in politics, though. If you're a sociopath, it's a great line of work.
Yeah.
It is.
It totally
You make
is.
a ton of money.
I think you make a really good point, and I appreciate that. Let's end on that. Coming up on DBL, Food Network star Michael Simon is talking all about some holiday food traditions that he actually can't get behind. Wait till you hear him. Stay tuned for that.
After Senator Angus King proposed his gun bill called the Go Safe Act, those in Maine's Republican Party targeted the senator, which leads us to the Facebook post saying, by the way, Angus King has never, ever, not once, gotten one of his bills signed into law. So is it true? Has Angus King never had any of his bills signed into law? Our sources, GovTrack, Senator Angus King's office, and the University of Maine Political Science Department. GovTrack is a project by the company Civic Impulse, a data and tracking source for congressional transparency websites. According to GovTrack, Senator Angus King has successfully presented 7 bills that have become laws in his 10 years in office. So, we can quickly verify that the claim by the Maine Republican Party is not true. According to Senator King's office, in an email, a spokesperson responds to the claims, writing, quote, "It is untrue. Like all falsehoods, let's not give it more power/audience by amplifying it."
I think the bigger issue is that it's a lot easier to spread disinformation today than it ever has been before, right?
That's University of Maine political science professor and department chair Mark Brewer. According to the professor, putting out claims that are not true, despite how easy they are to disprove, is increasing in American politics.
For many Americans, there are simply no more umpires, right? It's just nobody there to say whether something is inbounds or out of bounds.
He says it's because people tend to gravitate towards more information that further establishes their biases and their view of the world. So, once again, we can verify that the claims from the Maine Republican Party against Angus King are not true. With your Verify, I'm Jack Bolton.
I gotta impress some boys with some of my favorite chefs cooking up their favorite holiday dishes right here in my kitchen.
Welcome back. That was a look at the new season of Selena and Chef, featuring Iron Chef and Food Network host Michael Simon. And earlier we spoke with him all about what's been cooking in Selena's kitchen. Take a look. I would like to know, you cook with Selena Gomez, and I love the show on the new season of Selena and Chef. I wanted to know, how is Selena at cooking, and are there any bad habits you've had to break her from doing?
Well, first of all, the wonderful thing about doing it in her house and with her and her grandparents were there and friends is she is as lovely as a human as everyone thinks she is. What a special person. So for me, it was incredibly enjoyable to do that. You know, I grew up with a Greek Sicilian mother, so my whole life was around food and watching people come to the table, and my grandparents and my parents cooking for them. And so, you know, she is, I think, very comfortable. She didn't have a lot of bad habits, and her greatest asset, I think, is she truly wants to learn, you know, so she's not afraid to do things. A couple things like breaking down the lobster, she got a little freaked out, but then she dove in.
It's an antenna. The antennae are kind of freaky a little.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Always beware of the antenna. That's, you know, life's greatest lesson.
My darling, the new season is all based around holiday cooking, and I've got something in my mind, but I'm going to see if we're on the same wavelength here. What's something that people should stop making for the holidays?
I think a couple things. One of them is Jell-O salad. I don't understand how that falls into the category of salad. I just find it slightly repulsive.
No. Oh my gosh, my expectations have just got even lower.
Just also that ambrosia salad grosses me out completely, and any kind of casserole that is made with canned soup.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
So what's your worst? Okay.
The thing that freaks me out, since I've lived in America, this freaks me out. You guys put marshmallows on sweet potatoes. I'm horrified. I'm horrified.
You're right. You should be horrified. Why are you putting something sweet on something that's already sweet?
I'll be honest,
I don't
darling.
understand it either.
I'll be honest, Britain's not known for its fine cuisine all that much, but even I've got a problem with some of it here.
You know what, though? The food in London has gotten so much better over the past 20 years. It's incredible.
Our
Like, I
fish
mean,
and
the
chips
Indian
and gravy
food's always
puts
been
most to
great.
shame.
Yeah, but I mean, you got Marco Pierre really changed things there, and then it continues to grow. It's a great food scene.
Thank you.
I'm anxious to ask you this next question because, you know, when I was a little kid growing up, you know, there's certain things where you're like, that's what rich people do. So, like, surf and turf is like just what I thought rich people
is that
did.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was like my big marker for if you had money. I was like, they got surf and turf. You know, it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
So, you know, you focus on surf and turf with Selena, which everybody loves, obviously. But are there any new food combos that people should try?
Well, you know, I think too, like just surf and turf in general. I mean, I grew up. My grandfather was a pipe fitter. My dad worked at Ford, so I grew up with very humble, rustic, homey food, which is kind of the backbone of even how I run my restaurants. Is I love cooking that style food. But so surf and turf for me as a kid was very bougie, and I like to make it sometimes as an adult. But sometimes you could think outside the box where it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, like pork and shrimp would be surf and turf, and is incredibly common within like Asian cuisine. So, like even if you did like a pork tenderloin with some sautéed shrimp and ginger and cilantro and chilies and things of that nature, you could get a surf and turf on the table for a lot less expensive than prime beef and lobster.
That's clever. Very clever.
Another great tip is like what we did with Selena and Chef is we put the lobster in with a pasta, like. So that way, pasta isn't expensive to make. So you have the pasta, which is inexpensive, and you could stud it with lobster as opposed to giving everybody a half a lobster, a whole lobster. One lobster could then feed 4 to 6 people.
Wow.
That is
Michael, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope we have you back. DBL Nation, don't miss Michael on Selena and Chef Home for the Holidays Thursdays on Food Network and streaming on Max. And be sure to pick up his book, Simply Simon Suppers, available now. Thank you so much, Michael. Happy holidays. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Have a great holiday, guys.
All right,
Thank you.
Walking outside to a car covered in ice or snow usually means putting on some gloves, pulling out your trusty ice scraper, and taking time to clear the mess, so you don't put other cars at risk, like this guy. Many people have shared at-home tricks they use to clear snow or ice from their car faster on social media. Using these sources, here are 3 things we verified you should not use to de-ice your car. No-no number 1, using hot water or homemade solutions. Pouring hot water over snow or ice might seem like an efficient way to melt the mess away, but according to the Rochester Mazda car dealership, the sudden temperature change could crack your windshield. And as for those homemade solutions, like mixing water with ammonia or vinegar, a AAA spokesperson says using any chemical solution that is not manufactured for snow removal on cars could also create small cracks and craters in the windshield, making it unsafe to drive. And they could damage your car's paint too. Next up, using the wrong tools. 1A Auto, an auto repair company, says to never use a shovel to clear snow off your car because many shovels have a metal blade or other sharp edge that will scratch your car's paint. So, what about a broom? 1A Auto says if the bristles are stiffer than a regular snow brush, that can also damage the paint. And finally, using your windshield wipers. Anco Wipers, a blade manufacturer, says making your wipers do the heavy lifting could tear the blades, making them less effective. They also say you shouldn't snap the blades to get ice or snow off. If the spring is tight enough, it can cause the wiper to crack the glass in your windshield. So, now that you know what not to do yourself a favor and find your ice scraper or snow brush before a storm hits. And be kind to your wipers. Use your defrosters to melt ice away on your windshield. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till.
Colder temperatures are on the way for most of the country. And Verify viewer David sent us a text asking if someone can get sick just from being out in cold or rainy weather, as claimed in a popular old wives' tale.
So, let's verify. Can cold or rainy weather make you sick? Our sources are the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Johns Hopkins Medicine, the Mayo Clinic, and Virtua Health. A cold is a minor infection of the nose and throat that the Mayo Clinic and Virtua Health say you can catch through two primary methods. One is from airborne droplets spread when an infected person coughs or sneezes nearby. The other is when someone touches a contaminated surface and then touches their eyes, nose, or face. Both sources say you can catch a cold regardless of what the weather is like outside. So it's false that cold or rainy weather can make you sick, although it can indirectly make you more vulnerable to an illness. Johns Hopkins Medicine explains when the weather is bad, we spend more time indoors surrounded by other people, which increases our chances of encountering a sick person. The CDC recommends washing your hands often and to avoid touching your face to reduce the risk of catching a cold. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. It's the holidays, and for some of us, that means overeating. Hi. If you've got joint pain or even arthritis, there are certain foods you may want to ease up on this season. It's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. First up, refined sugars. They can aggravate symptoms for arthritis and joint pain, and the same can be said for foods with a lot of sodium or foods that are highly processed. If you're cooking, avoid using oils like corn or safflower. Use olive oil instead. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers, supported by 30 years of clinical research. Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users. So call 1-800-814-6985 or visit omegaxl.com for more information. We got some comments on nostalgia. Marquita, who we love, says, "Can I go back to the 90s, please, LOL?"
Yeah, it's a good time.
It was good timeline, wasn't it?
I miss the chokers, although those are back in.
That MAC twig lipstick, that dark lipstick.
I still wear the twig.
I love it. Sherry says, "I get nostalgic for how things were before so much technology, simpler times." And Steven says, "I love watching old TV shows. I prefer that over anything new. During the pandemic, I went right to Cheers and Golden Girls."
Seinfeld, I still watch it every night.
It was such a comfort to me to watch that. Yeah, Seinfeld, all that stuff.
I just want a flip phone. I just want a flip phone so bad.
Yes.
A really basic,
That's what kids are doing today.
flip phone.
Yep, you should.
Yeah.
We should get you a flip phone.
They call it a dumb
please.
phone. They call it, because these are smartphones.
Yeah.
So the kids today.
I would
call
like
it
a flip phone.
I'm going to
No,
get
Sam's
you
explaining why they
feel
call it
like
a dumb phone.
I would be living my clueless life.
We're going to get you a dumb
All right,
phone.
there's our boss just walking
There's our boss
through.
is walking through the camera. All right, good to see you.
Yeah.
See you Monday. We don't know. Bye, guys.
Okay.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.